got some fun stuff to share. All right, first off, I want to talk about my bouquet. All right, because there's some firsts in here. Okay, it's not like I didn't fill it and make it all shushy and beautiful. Whoops. But I do want to share, this is the first rose of the season, and I love roses, and I wish you could smell them because they're so beautiful. This is the first one. What I need to do is go around to all my rose bushes. Sometimes I leave the name tag on the bottom, and sometimes it just in weather gets kind of taken away, but I'm hoping to figure out this one. It could be called a sunset, okay? And then this is the same bush, and if you ever break one off, how cute is this? One of them fell off while I was trying to do a good job, and so I put it in a little tiny jug. So there's a little idea for you if you're cutting your flowers and you just cut too much. Okay, these are a couple other firsts of the year. This is a scabiosa, and I think the kind of common name is a pin cushion. Okay, look how big that one is. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Love these. So I planted a whole bunch of these last year. They're perennials, so they'll just keep coming up. And like I think I have 10 different varieties. So these are the 2 that came up this week, and they're just starting. And this one, see, it looks like a little like a pin cushion. Then my magnolia is still blooming right here, so pretty. And I still have some daffodils happening, and then some lavender. So I think one is a French lavender and one is an English lavender, and I don't know, you guys will have to tell me if this is French or English. Like English, one of them has 3 and one of them is, ooh, I almost gave a finger. One of them is 1. Oh boy. Okay, and then these are like little snowdrops. So kind of crazy, this bouquet is all different flowers, and you know, the snowdrops are usually winter and the daffodils are winter, so I'm really lucky right now. I do have to ask you guys a question out there. Hello, Donna. I have to ask you guys a question on the daffodils. Does anybody know what I do? Do I tie them up when they're done? I don't think I cut them. So I just wanted to ask you guys that. I'm not going to dig them up. I don't have to in our climate. So I wanted to ask the daffodil queens out there if they know what to do with daffodils. Okay. And I think we shall get started. What I wanted to talk to you guys about today is what I did with the ugly art. And also another way to create art that is from your palette paper. So I'm going to show you the palette paper first, and then I'm going to talk about what I did with my ugly art. I'm going to share some other stuff that's happening in my world, and we'll get started. Okay. All right, hold on. We're going to do this right. All right, hold on. I got to click over. I think I'm going to need my glasses for this one. Let's see. Whoopsie. Oh, I did it without even knowing I did it. Okay. All right. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Isn't that fun, you guys? I know I showed it last week. This inspiration board, I just have to say something. Okay, so the class that I'm gonna, that's gonna go live this week, Garden Party, which I'm gonna talk to you guys about. All right, I wanted to tell you something. This is sort of like the magical universe. Do you see these flowers? This one, this one, this one, and there's one down below. I've had them up on this vision board for a long time, and I don't really think about it, but when I created my collage sheets, those were the ones that I picked from my photo album. It's just weird. It's kind of like, it's not weird, it's cool, but it's kind of like you put something out into the universe, and it's like a vision board, and then all of a sudden, those flowers showed up somewhere else. Okay, I know that doesn't probably make sense to you guys, but it gave me a little bit of like, ooh, those are the flowers I had. All right, I want to make sure I'm straight, and I want to show you this thing that I'm doing. All right, so I talked about this a little bit last week, and for those who weren't with us, I want to show you that I have, when I paint and when I do a lot of painting on the table, and when I do a lot of, stuff with my classes, I always use paper. So these are sheets of, I'm going to show you, there's 4 or 5. I have tons of these. I use them for many things. I have them as backdrops for when I do a photo shoot. I also use them for getting drips. But I'll just keep using them over and over when I'm painting and doing my own thing. And what I wanted to show you is when we talked last week about finding art somewhere in some of your creations, this is a perfect example of using your frame cropper mat. This was from a frame that I bought. You can also buy these in art stores. And what I love to do is, let's say I was done with this piece of paper. Now I'm probably gonna keep my papers because I use them for photo shoots, but if you have a paper that you use under your art and you're done with it, don't throw it out because there could be art in there. And I like to use 140-pound watercolor paper or even heavier, it doesn't matter. It's just something that can handle all of this paint. Okay, and so what you can do is you can take your cropper, and you could even have a smaller one, and you could go around and you could find some beautiful, abstract pieces, just like gorgeous. And there's something about a nice white frame that just makes them so beautiful. So I wanted to show you this one I've had for a long time. It has lots of thick paint on it, and it's really fun. It's got brush strokes. And it, it serves a few purposes, but it is kind of fun to go around and look at some art that could be something that you could, end up hanging on your wall. And the other thing too is you can do the same thing in Photoshop. Like you can, in the computer, you can take a photo of any of your art and use a cropping tool to do the same thing. So that's one piece. I've had this for years. Okay, and then I wanted to show you this piece. Isn't this so pretty? I just love these colors and what's happening in here. So I use this a lot when I do, photos of my art or something. Like if I was going to do a still life and I wanted to, like if you guys have Instagram accounts or you have accounts and you want to do a beautiful photo, you can use these backdrops and just crop in tight, and I just love them. So this is another example of finding some beautiful art. It's sort of like just a game. You can go in. What you can do is, if you find something that you love, I love this pink. Let's say I wanted to do this, then all I would do is take a pencil and go around the sides and then just trim it out. Like, look how cool that is with the blue. It's another one. All right, and then I had this one. This is a lot going on. There were a lot of inks on this one. Same thing. You can go right in and just find some really nice work. So next time you guys are painting, grab a big sheet. This is like probably 20 by 16 or something. And grab one of these sheets and then just go ahead and, I'm seeing some questions down, so I'll answer. Grab some of these sheets and put it under. Okay, so this is cold press. It's thicker, it has some texture to it, and this is watercolor paper, and I think this is probably 140 pound. If it's 300 pound, it's really, really thick. And these are all, I'm feeling them right now, and they actually might be, between 140 and 300 pound paper. Now, I don't recommend that you guys use your really beautiful, nice Fabriano or Arches paper for this. You could just go in and get a student grade paper or something like that to collect all your drippings and paint splotches. And you can get a big pad of these. So it's probably 16 by 20, I'm thinking. And then I have another one that's smaller. This is the student grade. And I was looking at this one and I just thought, you know, that is just so fun. This is when I have small sheets of paper and I do my ink. And then these are all the marks from the ink and the sponge. But I was looking at this morning and I was just thinking that right there would be such a pretty abstract piece. I just want to make sure we're in. Isn't that so cool, you guys? So I don't want you to throw anything out. Just think about a new perspective of it. Okay, so let me show you. Just want to make sure if there was any other questions. Okay, let me just show you what I did with some of the art from last week. So I don't know if you remember. Here, let me take some of these off, except the pretty pastel light one, so it doesn't get us too distracted. Okay. What I did was, I don't know if you remember that arch one. So I ended up going in and cutting out some of these pieces that I had that were kind of ugly. We're not gonna say ugly after tomorrow, but today, but they weren't what I wanted. So I went in and I cut them out and I found a frame. I did the same thing with this piece of art. I found the frame and I realized what I wanted to do. And so I cut this out and then I added some inks and then I just popped it in this frame. And then with some extra, I just ended up making a gift card tag. Even if it has stuff on the other side, you could put a white piece of paper here and write it out. But I just want to show you that every single thing that you want to do with your scraps, there's so many things. You could turn them into bookmarks, and I'm going to show you what I did with some strips. But I wanted you to see that even one sheet of paper, and there's things that you don't like, go ahead and turn them into these little things. All right, so I'm just gonna move this aside. I'm gonna show you some other stuff I was doing. All right, so somebody said we're interrupted. I hope not. It's hard to know. Sometimes other people have bad internet connections, so I'm hoping we're good. I see myself chatting. Let's see. Yep. I see myself chatting to myself. Okay, here's another one where if you guys remember, if you don't remember too, you can see this on the live from last week. I am totally inspired by Jamie Allen. Jamie Allen is on that one sheet that has all of the artists that we love. And this is watercolor and neos and little tiny, little teensy weensy marks. Tiny pencils, and this totally reminds me of Hawaii. And I went in and I found what I liked, and I just kind of cropped it out and added a few more details from the piece I showed you last week. Look at those cutest little tiny hearts. So I added these hearts with a little tiny white pen, and you know, it's all these little details. So when you have a piece of art that you think you might want to save, cut it out and then add more stuff to it. Art's never finished in my book. I mean, you can keep on adding. But the thing I want to tell you too is about the frames they're really inexpensive. I went in and I'll show you some other ones. So this is a teensy little guy. This is like 3 inches by 2 inches. And when I was prepping for the Zoom class that we did the first one we did a month ago, I worked on this design for like a week, and I have so many pieces of these. And so these are just 2 examples of cropping the bigger piece that we worked on, and, you know, finding little areas that you might like I love this big poppy, and then I added again, I went in yesterday and added in more tiny marks with a lead pencil, with colored pencils, and I added some more neos. Those are the neos right there. And these are frames. This is like I think 4 inches by 4 inches with a 3 inch by 3 inch opening. So it's just to show you that the littlest piece that you want to save out of your, you know, maybe something that you worked on could be turned into something in a frame. And the other thing I thought was really fun is Wouldn't this be so cute if you had little pieces of art, even if they were leftovers, and you went in and you wrote somebody's name on it and they were little tags for your dinner table, and you just had those as your dinner table. You know, next time we have dinner guests over next year. But I thought they were so cute, and they're really inexpensive. Like, this was probably like 90 cents. This I found at Cost Plus, and it was $4.99. These I found at a sale, and I think they were like $5 or $6. And you know, next time you're out and about or you see a frame, you can also go and repaint it. Like, this is one I repainted. And then I have some other framed things to show you. I just thought that they were really fun. So I really encourage you guys to take some of your work and put them into frames. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you is something else that I ended up doing with the ugly art is, and this is something too that will be in the garden party class, is, do you guys have these boards? If you don't have these boards, these cutting boards, this one I've had for 30 years. I had it in college. It's totally warped, but it does the job. These are cutting boards that you can find at, you know, Michael's or local places. I'm sure they have them on Amazon too. They're not cheap, but I really recommend, if you don't have one, to get one, because what I love to do is cut my art into strips and then use these strips in my art. So again, this all stems from, like, this is this one piece. And out of this one piece of art that I didn't love, I was able to turn it into a little 3x3, a little hang tag, and then I cut them into strips. Let me show you. Dun, 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 dun. I think I've showed you guys this before, but now you can see it. Let's move all this stuff aside. So this is the bigger piece that is in the class, and in here are all of these. This is not under glass yet, so I can touch it. In here are all of these strips. This is actually a strip from my palette paper. And then these are strips from old pieces of art. These are just strips from art papers that you can find in the stores. And I just wanted to show you that, you know, you can start to have a pile of your strips in, like, put them in a box, put them in an area, because you never know when you're gonna need them, but they're just so fun to play with. I mean, aren't they so cool? I just love them. And I love doing strips and also torn pieces of collage paper. So in this class, in the second lesson, it's strips and torn pieces. And then also, again, taking your art and putting them in a frame. This frame was one I found at Target, super inexpensive. And everything, I think, just looks better with a beautiful, you know, white frame around it. It just makes things pop, and you can put it up in your house. The other thing too is, when you get these frames, you can alternate all the time. Like, once a month, you could be going in and changing that out all the time. So hang them up and then just take them down and just swap them out, because, you know, why not, right? That's what I say. Why not? Okay, and then some more frames. So anyway, so don't throw away anything. And if you don't have a board and you're thinking about getting one, these are great for cutting up and just doing all your projects. Here's two other frames. So this is the first part of garden party, is these smaller pieces. So we kind of get started with small pieces, and let's see, work our way up. So this is a frame that I've had for a long time, and I painted it over with a white wash. So there's some frames that you might have that you might not like the color, and you just go ahead and paint that over. But these two pieces, we're gonna do two pieces in the class. These are 4x6 that get mounted onto a 5x7 for a greeting card. And you can choose to give that card away. I'll show you how to make the card, or you can just put them into a 5x7 frame and give that away or save it or whatever you want to do with it. But taking your small pieces can also look beautiful in a big wide mat. So this is probably, let's see, this is probably a 3-inch mat. Well, this is 2.5 around. This is a 4x6 in a 5x7 opening and with a 2.5-inch border around. And again, I think I got this at Target for like 10 bucks. And it's a beautiful way to give a gift and really inexpensive way to give a gift that looks beautiful, or, you know, something for your home. And it's so easy to change these out. Like you could even do seasons, like you could have cards. I know my mom has lots of, yes, Angela, these are in the garden party class, and I'll talk about that in a second. But you could even do seasons. Like my mom has lots of decorative painting plaques and wooden things in her house that are gorgeous that she does for each season. But you could do artwork that's on paper the same way. Like you could pull them out every month and do something on there. So that's this. And oh, here are the cards. So one of the things that you guys, if you've been following me for a while, you know how I love to give away greeting cards, especially all last year when I know people were having a very difficult time. So in the first lesson, I'm going to show you how to score and what to do if you scored too much. And this is on purpose. There were so many whoopsies though in that class. It's so funny. I was like editing all last week. And so anyway, the class, and oh, and these are the other parts of it too. One of the things that I'm really excited about was to be able to make these collage sheets. And I ended up making 5 of them in the class. So there's sheets on my artwork. And then there's also sheets on my photos of my garden. And then I'm also going to show you guys how to make your own, which is really fun. The trick on these sheets is to get them printed at the right thickness. So I get all my collage sheets done at 32 pound, and this is in the class, so you don't have to write this down. But if you're not taking the class and you want to make your own collage sheets, you'd put your photos on, you know, Word document, but it's 32 pound premium. So you can take it to any Kinko's or, are they called Kinko's anymore? FedEx stores. I don't think Walmart stores have the type of quality you want. 32 pound premium. And what happens is the thickness of the paper is so gorgeous. And you may not have gardening catalogs available right now to cut up. So I wanted to make sure you guys have these to use. So aren't they fun? I might be doing collage sheets in a lot of my classes from now on. I didn't realize how easy it is because it's just a PDF that I'll attach to the classroom. Okay, so this is going to release in a couple days. I swear I wanted to get it done before our live, but you know, I was a little under the weather. So I'm gonna probably release it in 2 days and I will let you guys know, and it will start at $32. It's a 3-hour class. I'm trying to keep my classes around $10 an hour, something like that. So it's gonna start at $32 for the first few weeks. And I will let you guys know when that's live. You'll be the first to know. All right, what else I wanna tell you? Oh, I wanna talk about watercolor. All right, so let me get some my watercolor stuff out. So for those of you who are taking the Zoom class, that's on May 1st. I wanted to show you guys. So I framed this one. This is, again, another way to frame. And this one is a frame I got at a local art store that I think you can get in a lot of places. I showed this to my mom yesterday. She thinks it should be in a white frame. Probably she's right. I just didn't have a white frame. But I wanted to show you how, again, artwork that we do in our classes, once you put it into a frame, it just does something like so magical to it. I love how this looks in here. So this is the Zoom class that's going to happen on May 1st, and this is watercolor and neos. But I had a couple questions and I wanted to let you know that next week I'm going to be demoing watercolors so you can see the different watercolors and the ones that I use. But in case you wanted to get some supplies ahead of time, this one was $25 on Amazon, and there's a link in my website for it, and I will probably at least unwrap it by next week, but I'm gonna do a little demo of all these gorgeous colors. This one's called Tropicals, and I think there's like a whole bunch of different colors. And then I got a little excited and I ordered by kind of a very big impulse a really expensive set that's only 6 colors, and I'm hoping it gets here in time. It may not get here in time for me to show you the difference, and if not, I'll show it to you another time. But you certainly don't need any expensive watercolors to do this, not at all. And if you have even your basic set, that's all you need. You just need a couple small brushes. These are from King Art. They're just small little brushes. You don't need any fancy brushes. You might need one a little bit bigger than this for some of the big brush strokes in the sky, but really whatever you have, that's all you need. And then I will be doing some neos again as well, but if you don't have the neos, you don't even need them either. So you can do the whole thing in watercolor. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. See if I have any questions on the Zoom class coming up. So I'll be talking about that more in the next couple weeks. The link to that is on my website, and I'll post that in the group. The other thing I wanted to chat about is watercolor paper, because I do get a lot of questions on the watercolor paper. And the thing is, I just love Fabriano watercolor paper. Now, it's probably one of the most expensive you can get. So I buy it in sheets of 4, and you can buy them in sheets of 4 at Blick, and you can buy them, I think, in sheets of 4 on Amazon. I'm not 100%, but I love the 140 pound. I talk about this in my layered petals class, the smooth one. And the reason I like 140 pound is because it's easy to kind of work with. If you got 300 pound, it's just thicker. And the cold press has more texture. But you should experiment and see which one you like. You can do this class, no problem, with cold press. You can do any of my classes with cold press. I don't want anybody to feel like if they don't have hot press, they can't do it. You can also do anything in the student grade. This is more of a student grade quality. It's fine, and it's absolutely fine if you're new to art and you're just beginning. But if you want to sell your art, and if you're really wanting to up the quality of the paper, there is a difference. And so when you buy 4 sheets of this paper, it's roughly around $6 a sheet, which is a really good buy. If you went and bought 1 sheet in a store, it's like more like $10, but they're big. They're 30 by 22, and you can then cut them down to size. So on watercolor paper, I would just recommend, if you're new to get student grade, and if you're not new and you want to kind of see the difference, you know, splurge a little bit on the paper. You don't have to use them for your backgrounds, but definitely, you know, you'll see there's a huge difference on how it takes the watercolor and how it even works with the neos and the multi things on top. Alrighty? Okay. All right, I got just a couple more things to show you. Okay. Okay, I just want to make sure you guys didn't, oh, yes. There's so much yumminess in art supplies, you guys. Okay, so remember I asked the question about the watercolor class that I wanted to do, and somebody came up with the title, and I wish I could remember, but I'm gonna go for it. It's called Watercolors in Bloom. So thank you. I feel like it was Angela, but I'm not 100%. And I wanted to show you, this is one of my 365 days. And this is what I'll be doing the class on. And I wanted to show you guys, I'm so excited. These just came out this week, and this is something else I'm a little bit behind on, but that's okay. I'm not stressing too much. I ended up getting these cards made, and for anybody out there that wants to print your cards, I wanted to share this vendor with you because I know some of you guys that are on this live and then follow me also sell some work or would like to. And so this is a vendor that I use that I've loved. I've used this. Oh, I taped it for a photo shoot. Hold on. It's not normally taped. Okay. This is paper. If only you guys could feel this paper. It is, I'm wondering if you can tell. It's beautiful, like a hard stock. It's soft, smooth felt. That's what I use. I use classic felt. It's blank inside. Okay, you can put your art on the back, the inside, and the cover. The only thing is you need to order a quantity of 25. So that's the one thing. You have to make 25 of whatever design you want, which is not a lot. The company is called Millers, MILLERS.com. That's all it is. You set up an account. You say you want a wholesale account. You don't need a wholesale license number or anything. Anybody could do it. They just have to have you set up an account. Okay? So that's a little tip for you guys. But what I decided to do was, you guys probably know that I have my tea towels. And I wanted to do something for Mother's Day, and I'll probably keep this for holiday, but I ended up, I'm so excited. They're so cute. I ended up this week getting this card made so it goes with the corresponding tea towel. So this little card matches the tea towel. So I put them all together. I'm super excited. So I ended up with 5 different ones, and they're on my website as of last night. I launched them. I just think they're so much fun. And I wanted to kind of encourage you guys, if you are thinking about cards and whatnot, how much fun they are to get your art onto, printed things like this. So that is another exciting thing that I just launched, and that will be ready. This is ready. These are ready now. I have so much going on. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's that. And let's see. All right, I'm going to turn this around. Let me turn this around. See how I do. See if you guys have any questions. I know. Can you believe it's Mother's Day? I always sort of forget it's Mother's Day. When Mother's Day happens. Okay, here we go. Back around. Now let's see if I can flip us around. Yay! Okay. Okay, with this, the transactions are getting smoother. Transitions. See, I think that drug is still in my brain. Okay, one more thing is I wanted to show you for the Zoom class on the 1st, I have a couple giveaways. A class would not be complete without some giveaways. But as I was going through my inventory, I found these. Okay, I have to back up. Are these the cutest? So it's the same thing from those 365 pictures that I did, those drawings that I did. Those drawings have done a lot for me, okay? So I did all those drawings and I made these tote bags. So I'm gonna be giving away, I think 3 of these tote bags. I have a succulent one, so that's so cute. And I have this floral one. I love them so much. So I found them as I was trying to clean up and do a whole bunch of stuff. And I thought, oh, those would be really fun. I really love to give some stuff away during those classes. It's like a little way to take a break. And let's see, what else? I think that's it. What time is it? That was probably not a super long one. I didn't really have a demo planned, but I will next week. I'm gonna do watercolors next week, so that will be really fun. And I hope you guys have a great week. I'm trying to think if I had anything else exciting to tell you. My boys started basketball, and the day before their first game, somebody on the other team has COVID, so there's no basketball for 2 weeks and everybody's quarantined, so So we're still not out of the woods, but we're getting out of the woods. I'm getting my second vaccine next week, and that's that, okay, for you guys. So just stay tight, wear your masks. We're almost through, I think, fingers crossed. I know you guys over in Europe are having a little bit of a harder time, so I'm totally thinking of you guys. So do your art. Cut out your ugly art into beautiful art, and keep sharing all your gorgeous work, you guys. I will be looking at it this week and making some comments, and I love that you guys are putting your work out there, and I love that we're getting more people into this group, because you know, for you guys who have been with me for a long time, to just help, you know, encourage some of our new friends, because it's sometimes hard to post your art. I know it was for me in the beginning, and you know, you can feel very self-conscious about posting your artwork because it's something that's part of your heart. And I just know that you guys are so sweet and so encouraging, and I just want to make sure you guys are, you know, loving on each other, because it's so important, right? Okay. I'm going to stop babbling. That's why I love the Zoom, because other people can babble with me. So I will see you guys next week. All right.